What's going on, guys? For those of you who missed it, the Madden 15 Kansas City vs. Steelers first half early gameplay, here it is for you right now. Check it out.
Got one ready to go here. We've got Chiefs versus Steelers. Patrick, do you want to run the sticks here first? And then anytime Jeff or Mike see something they want to show off, you can let us know. First, we got to check out the pregame because that's new. Yep. Craig, if you could crank up the audio on the game when that comes up. Tweet us your questions with the hashtag Twitch Madden 15. As you can tell, the chat stream goes pretty quick. It moves pretty fast, so we're gonna try and stay up with it on Twitter. I will also try to stay up with it on the chat. But guys, let's go ahead and get into it.
Let's jump in.
Let's jump in. Let's get into the details. I know you guys got to run here in a few minutes, but we figured we'd jump into it.
So right here, you're seeing our new broadcast intro. We have Larry Ridley, who also does our halftime show, which you're going to see later. Quick broadcast intro. We wanted everything to feel more expensive, like a TV broadcast, so the graphics are inspired by the best of what you see out there, like CBS, NBC. Here's our new Chrome broadcast style fly-ins.
It's really cool. Yep. So how did you guys
NFL
do that?
Stadium, we blew, we built out the city around it, built it into that studio, and then matched the camera. So as you fly into the stadium, you kind of do this live reveal to the real live stadium. One of the key things for me here was we wanted all the visuals to match what they're talking about. So they'll talk about the banner here while they're talking and showing the coach. We wanted to shorten it, so we got rid of things like coin toss. So that's now a menu option before you come in the game. You see there one of the new broadcast style cameras, Steadicam shot.
Okay, so you guys have talked about that, but for whoever who hasn't heard, explain the camera thing. Brian Murray.
Here's another one here. The last few years I've been working with NFL Films, and one of the best talents I got to work with was a guy named Brian Murray. And over the years we talked about what he could do in our space, and eventually we got him to come here this year, and just such knowledge of shooting real football, and it really helped with our goal of shooting real football. Here again is another piece I like to call authentic to broadcast and expensive. So as Big Ben came onto the field there, we're introducing him with commentary, but you also see that NFL Films footage.
Right.
Each quarterback has 3 or 4 of those packages throughout, even guys like Johnny Manziel.
All right, Patrick, you're playing on All Pro because guys are going to want to see the at least All Pro skill level. Is that what you normally play on? I'm not trying to throw you under the bus here, but don't give him a hard time. Defense is tough in this year's game. Just as a reminder, defense is serious. So we're going to see how Patrick handles it against the Chiefs' defense, which is also pretty good. With Roethlisberger here. All right, Jeff, you're our director here. What are we gonna see here in Pittsburgh?
Well, as in all the NFL stadiums and across the product, we went and we relit the product again. This year, we've got a number of new rendering features that we put in. Specifically, not what you're seeing right here, but during nighttime, or when the shadows become really long, and you start to see that, late third quarter, fourth quarter lighting when the stadium press box starts casting that shadow onto the midfield. You will see a large shadow on the field. Well, once our players run into that lighting actually has been improved significantly, and that transfers over to our domes, our night lighting. So you're going to see the characters all in all have better shape when in those situations.
All right, let's see if Patrick can pick up this first down. 3rd and 9. Oh, it's a little too long to pick his play there. That's all right. That's all right. Those look like new player models to me, new body models to me.
They are,
Jeff?
yes. We this year we went and we completely redid all of our player body types. So we started by breaking it down and redoing the 4 major body types. Our standard type, which is really the QB, and that really never was able to represent our QBs accurately before. When you look at Peyton Manning and previously Brett Favre and some of those other quarterbacks. So we started by redoing the base model, and then from there we added a new muscular model, a new thin model, and our new heavy model. And between those 4, that's what we're able to then recreate all the players in the NFL. So you're actually going to see every player in the game is leveraging these new blend shapes. And we've actually even gone through and handcrafted our superstars throughout the product. So you'll see every quarterback, every major defensive player will all have very unique values for those body shapes.
Jeff, we have a question here from Fat Kids Revenge 1. Question: why does Kaepernick have tattoos?
Why does Kaepernick have tattoos? Colin is a very unique situation. So he's one of the athletes in the NFL that has full rights to his tattoos. So he came to us and he's like, "Hey guys, I really want to get my tattoos in the game this year." So with his cooperation, we were able to get the rights to those tattoos, photograph him, and get them into the game accurately. That's why you see him specifically having those tattoos. Now, that's not to say that in the future we won't be doing more of those. We just have to secure the rights to the other players. And again, we're working with the players in the NFLPA to add more to our product in the future.
Yeah. Just going to call out that inaccurate pass there. The last stream we were playing with Peyton Manning and Phillip Rivers, so a lot of very accurate passes. But this year you're going to see, depending on ratings, guys throw some errant balls and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool. I found out actually Peyton Manning, who I watched every single game. I'm a huge Broncos fan, and if you would have asked me like what his percentage was on deep balls, I probably would have said 95% or something, because wishful thinking or rose-colored glasses or something. But he was like, I think 65% or lower, and then the gameplay guys were like showing me film to prove it. I was like, oh, okay, so yeah, that's realistic.
Every fan tends to either over-glorify or under-glorify their own team. I used to complain to Donnie Moore all the time about Big Ben and how much better he had to be and how he should never be sacked. Like, he should be tossing guys off on sacks all the time. But fortunately, he has his own mind, and it doesn't just bend to our will anytime we complain about stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And meanwhile, those Chiefs just driving on.
I mean, here's a really key moment to talk about, and Patrick's going to talk about it a little bit because he was the main designer on this feature. But Madden for a long time has been based on scriptables. So post-play, we would not be able to shoot the action on the field. We would have to load up canned, kind of moments. What we've been seeing here over and over again, just like when that player signaled for first down, we've added all this post-play behavior, awareness, AI, animations to bring to life the game so we can shoot it more like a real broadcast, players helping each other up, people celebrating with other players, everyone on the field kind of having an authentic reaction to each play. And it makes our game not just more authentic to what you'd see on TV, but by having it immediate, your emotion as a gamer is supported by the players and the visuals you're seeing immediate. It's not this kind of score touchdown, wait for us to load the canned, Superman, Cam Newton celebration. Now as, he dives in the end zone, he's immediately going into some reaction. His teammates, if there's some around him, do their thing. The defenders are dejected.
Just like Patrick right now. He just dropped his head for giving up that first down.
That's actually
that again right there is another one of the real cameras. So, for years we've been shooting what we call director cams with guys like Brian Murray for our scriptables, but one thing he was able to do was work with our engineers to really not just take advantage of where cameras are in real life in a real broadcast, but how they behave and track a ball. So we've had the real positions before, but what we never had was the behavior. So there on that sideline camera where we cut to what broadcast would want to do, we did see the cameraman kind of move out of the way so that he didn't run through, but it was also the positioning, the predictive logic. of where they'd want to be. So it wasn't just about having the static locations, which we've had in Madden for a couple of years, but it's how to use them.
Right.
So I have to do a small shout out to our partners at Riddell, because part of the body blends this year, you'll notice that you're actually seeing the shoulder pads and the underlying protective gear a lot more. And Riddell was a big part of that, making sure we had all the authentic gear this year, and we're able to take really good reference to then actually completely resculpt the normal maps on these players. So when you're looking at these players, look at their pants. I mean, the microfiber detail in the pants is significantly greater this year. But then on top of that, again, you're just starting to see those underlying shoulder pads and thigh pads and knee pads, so much more than you've ever seen before in Madden.
Another thing I was noticing, we just saw Andy Reid on the screen. The bodies look so much more authentic, and they actually have like their real, like if you see Jim Harbaugh, he's really got that like, red pin that hangs around his neck. And,
yep. Yeah, you're going to notice that every one of our coaches on the sideline this year has a unique body. They've got a unique head. We've completely redone them head to toe. Anything unique to them that they have specifically, we've added those small details, and that cuts across both fair weather play as well as cold weather. So you'll see, you know, Lovie Smith in the snow.
I mean, it's such a big improvement from my days on art, where we had to like share 3 different body types across all the coaches, and you'd end up with these like kind of turtle bodies, you know, like a head plopped on a body. It's almost like a Halloween costume versus the real guy.
The other thing you'll see with the coaches too is, like our quarterbacks, specifically, they received unique animation offsets this year. So you're going to see them hold up a lot better when it comes to facial animation.
We just saw another one of my little touches that I really like. That's really broadcast and makes the game more intimate. Is as the quarterbacks break the line of scrimmage, you're going to get some cutaways to them, and I think it makes the game feel more organic. And
yeah, I noticed the guys also like kind of adjusting their helmet or kind of clapping their hands or waving to guys and stuff like that. We talked about in the Twitch stream for gameplay a week or 2 ago that you also, like when guys come up to the line and call a hot route, they actually will have to point to that side of the field and call that out. Yeah, so all that kind of goes into it together.
Yeah, people said like last year we had that RG3 E3 video where he was doing cool stuff at the line of scrimmage, but that was just scripted. Now we actually have a lot more content there where the quarterbacks are dynamic. Like you said, pointing things out at the line of scrimmage, audibling. As they break huddle, they're doing a lot of different stuff that's actually in the game.
Very cool.
So as we were mentioning there about both coaches and QBs getting a lot of love this year as far as their likeness, that extends beyond those guys. So this year we've, at this time I think we've scanned almost the entire league of players. But this year in Madden you're gonna see a large focus at quarterback, coaches, and then of course a number of other skill positions, both on defense and the offensive side of the ball. You're going to see those very unique personalities having gotten that treatment. So you're actually going to see a much better likeness
like
represented.
Patrick were to pause and maybe go into like Antonio Brown or Heath Miller,
yeah,
Marquise Pouncey, you can kind of see the difference it makes over having either of these guys be generic or just kind of built from hand.
Hey Patrick, whenever you get a chance, let's go into instant replay and show off some of those faces. First, real quick, guys, we know you're wanting to see Connected Franchise. We know you're wanting to see Madden Ultimate Team and a lot of other questions. We're focusing on presentation and visuals for this stream, but hang tight. Obviously, we've got more news coming. But we're not really talking Connected Franchise or MUT today. That's not to say we won't in the very near future.
Patrick is, brand new head.
Nice.
I mean, my favorite player right now is Antonio Brown, and he's fantastic looking in this game. So I know when you're a fan of a team and you have a favorite player, it's very important for those guys to look right.
It's nice. You got the sweat beads on his face, and
maybe scrub through, have him run through different kind of lighting.
Yeah, let's go. Let's get him kind of turned around into the.
There you go.
Something like that.
Yeah, there you go. Nice.
You can see the skin holding up a lot better. Things look moist, juicy, like tissue should look like. We don't have the
see those
zombie guys anymore.
Actually, yeah. So I see the. Actually, Patrick, can you go back in there and get that same thing? So I noticed also you've got like and this, I don't know if this has been in for a while, but the scratches on the helmets, you know.
Yep, we went and redid degradation on the uniforms again this year, and you're actually going to see it much stronger throughout the game.
This, you know, the uniform texture looks really good too. If you guys zoom in there,
yeah, that
looks really good.
micro detail really comes out when you zoom in.
I mean, me personally, last year, you really couldn't even see things like the carving into the shoulder pads or any of those kind of micro details, as I call them, like when you can see fabric, you know, except in like screenshots we released. But now you really see, like, you see those carved out edges and those wrinkles from gameplay.
You can even see the straps of where he's hooking his shoulder pads together. We've got a lot of underlying detail this year that really is coming out nicely.
It's funny too, because when we first started releasing screenshots, people were like, "Oh, that's not real. You guys are doctoring them." Nope, that is 100% in instant replay. Those screenshots are, yeah, it looks this good. It really does. So, sorry. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, sir. Let's talk about those head scans. How does that technology work? So what is you know, this is kind of a new thing.
It is, yeah. Actually, we've got a proprietary rig that we have 3 of that we can pack up and take to any one of the teams. So we've been largely visiting the teams all throughout training camp. And we will sit down with as many of them as we possibly can in a very short period of time, and we're able to get them in and out. In about 2 minutes, we can actually scan somebody's likeness now, which is phenomenal considering we have so many players to scan compared to other sports. But once we've scanned them with our proprietary rig, which is a series of several cameras capturing their face at one time from multiple different angles, we're then able to bring that back to the studio and through our processing pipeline reproduce their likeness, and then with just small quality changes after that, we're able to get his head into game. So all in all, we used to take days, 2 days, 4 days to get a head in. Now the process is down to anywhere between like 4 to 6 hours.
Wow.
I just noticed another little detail which goes into making a Madden game is have crossfades between the replays. It just smooths it out, makes it look more authentic to TV. Just another one of those small details that you wouldn't put on the back of the box or anything, but it does add to your enjoyment.
Very cool.
Another one that...
Oh, fumble again. Wow. Patrick is lucking out over there with the fumbles. Hit stick, yes. And, you know, they've got a pretty solid defense, too. Yeah, sure. Go for it.
So we really haven't talked much about the environments this year. You're going to notice lots of stadium renovations in this year's product. From the Eagles, adding their turbines, to the Niners, which got... we learned more and more about that new facility as it's getting ready for game day. So you're going to see a number of upgrades to that, even though we had it in last year's product. You're going to see upgrades to the Panthers and the Browns, the new super wide jumbotrons, which are amazing, along with the new jumbotron graphics that you're going to see playing on the ribbon boards and the jumbotrons.
Yeah, I think playing in Jacksonville with their jumbotrons take up about a third of the screen. With the content we have on there, it's like you can't stop looking at it. You're just like, you can't even play the game. It's so impressive.
Yeah, the hairs went up on my spine when I saw it for the first time.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to going to see it in real life now.
Yeah, you were talking about these Heinz ones in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, maybe
the catcher up
if
here.
you could go in instant replay here, Patrick. We have over, I think, 22 different events for our jumbotrons since way back in the day, probably like Madden 05. We've had the same like 1990s-esque kind of flash graphic jumbotrons, and we worked with all the NFL teams to either rebuild what they do, but all authentic, all looking great. Here's just kind of the looping one, but earlier when you're in the red zone, we've got the ketchup coming down here. You know, go to the Broncos, Jaguars, Titans. with the way you see that during gameplay, it's just
Yeah,
kind of a huge difference. But you'll see stuff specific for Super Bowls. If you win a Super Bowl, turnovers, overtime, quarter breaks, halftime. There's kind of events for everything, and it really brings the stadium to life in that way.
So other environments that we've gone and focused on this year, obviously the Vikings won't be playing in the Hubert Humphrey Metrodome anymore. Breaks my heart, but they've moved over to the University of Minnesota, so we've brought that stadium into the game this year. So they'll be playing at TCF Bank Stadium. In addition to that, there's a new skills trainer environment. And
Doing the Dougie.
we can talk a little bit about the concept behind that. We wanted to bring a practice facility that felt very corporate and very high-end, similar to what the Jets have done with their new practice facility. So the skills trainer was largely modeled after that.
seeing some
New
that cool
banners there, better animation. Like every big part of the banner do over to make it really broadcast is animated. Have transitions, have them animate on and off the screen, not just kind of be this static card that comes up, fades in and fades out. You notice a lot of stats come out of the ticker now. So really trying to tell the banner story out of the ticker. After a guy gets his third reception of the drive, that drops down, or how many times the guy's been sacked. It really helps tell that story.
Some other environment renovations we've done. The Bills have gotten upgrades. Seattle's gotten upgrades. We added the 12th man flags that we didn't have before. So lots of little details throughout the NFL stadiums.
Yeah, Seattle looks amazing.
Has to be. They just won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They definitely got the treatment this year.
Also, like new stadiums, you guys had obviously Levi's is
new. The Vikings, they're in a new practice facility, or a new stadium being over at TCF, as I mentioned, and then the skills trainer is the other new environment this year.
Yeah, a lot of people are gonna appreciate the new skills trainer stuff once they try out the gauntlet. We're looking to have a stream on that too, just when we start talking about. We're going to go through, the new play call and stuff like that, which you're seeing, but we'll get into a little bit more detail in a future stream on that. But right now, again, we're focusing on presentation and visuals as we check out that instant replay. It looks pretty slick.
All the replays were totally rebuilt. The editing, the camera behaviors, the camera locations, the crossfades, matching them up better with the commentary that's playing on top of them.
Set at the line for the first down after that completion. After the long gain, let's see what they do here.
I'm going to pull up Twitter here and check out some questions again. Tweet us your questions with the hashtag Twitch Madden 15. I'm going to take a look at them real quick. Patrick. All right, you got a nice 7-0 lead. See if you can hold him here. Defense is held up so far, though.
Did you guys go into different gameplay cameras last time? At the all-22, or?
You know what? I don't think we did. That's something we were gonna save for this one.
Yeah, cool.
So we might want to do that. Patrick, when you get the ball back, I think. I honestly like playing from the defensive camera angle. I think it's a lot of fun. Obviously, I play with the Broncos a lot, so I like to control Von Miller around the outside. Trying to jump the snap and get into the quarterback. It just feels so. Here it is. In the past, obviously, you would have had to go into the options menu and change the camera angle before the play.
They were really buried. They weren't always accessible. Now, right at the line of scrimmage, we wanted to give you. We took all of the old cameras that NCAA fans used to love, improved on them, and then added the defensive side. So you have player lock. You have a defensive camera, which is really focused on an individual, but allows you to switch players.
Right.
The broadcast view, which some very, very hardcore people like. What people I've noticed do sometimes is actually switch cameras based on what they're doing. They're running a draw play and they want to see the hole. They might go into the zoom cam. if they are doing a pass play or a kick return, they might go to that all 22 where they can kind of see the entire field, see all the routes develop, stuff like that. Here again is another Jumbotron. They're block that kick.
Oh, that's cool.
So again, like last year, that kicker response would have been 1 or 2 different scriptables that you just see over and over and over again, versus being a real-time kind of celebration. And, the net's been improved.
And that's
this
moving.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah. What went into that?
We finally have dynamics on that. I think that these cameras show off really well too. Camera angles is the new 3D indicator. Also the on-the-field graphics, seeing the down and distance finally that broadcasters had for a while here that we finally have in Madden. And you also see a number of gameplay features turning off there, like the tackle wedge, as well as a number of other things.
Got some questions?
Yeah, we got some here. Okay, so this one on Twitter from Mike King. He asks, how many new facial scans have been added to the game?
At this point, we've got several hundred. I'll be honest, I don't have an exact number because we've been just adding as many as we possibly can from the time that we got the scans. So really, we're only dictated by, hey, when can we finally sit down with the Patriots and scan them and then get them into our product. So, like I said, we've at this point scanned almost the entire league, and we've been scanning ever since, gosh, probably just after the first of the year. So there's again a couple hundred that's getting in immediately, and then we'll see more soon.
Very cool.
Just saw the first tease of halftime there.
If you want to look through there and see if there's any. Again, guys, getting a lot of questions about Connected Franchise, Madden Ultimate Team, the Gauntlet, various other modes and things like that. We're actually talking presentation and visuals today, but stay tuned. Obviously, we will be talking about that very soon. And thanks for watching. Be sure to follow us here on our Twitch channel, EA Sports, for more. Let's see.
Got a request here to show off Johnny Football during the stream. Surprise, surprise.
Should we? Yeah, Johnny Football's popular, Mike.
Yeah.
Johnny Football is popular. Arguably the most popular draft pick this year, even though he was taken at 22 overall, or 20, something like that. 21, 22 overall, and there's going to be a lot of eyes on him this year.
Yeah.
We are getting close to the halftime presentation. I'm looking here through your questions here in the chat. Mike is checking out Twitter.
That was a big mistake. I think they need a replacement.
Oh, here's a question. I have a question. This is from Just Chillin'. If you play with a friend on the same console, how will the camera views work? To answer your question, you will not be able to change the camera on the fly, because that would be no fun if your friend was just constantly changing the cameras on you while you're trying to play against him on the same television. So you will not be able to do that. We've locked out the D-pad camera changes while you're playing